Here's a quick instructional video on how to get the best out of your Rumble. Making sure that you're live, so you can see bottom left corner live. When it's red dotted, that means you're live. Let's make sure you're watching in the highest quality. There's a cog on the right hand side. Click that cog, make sure it's on the highest setting possible. There we are, over and out. Back to you, Mr. Rotella. Bye now.
As always, my friends, Hat the Cat says, hi, Adam. Hi, Hat the Cat. Hi. Get it out of your system, everybody. Remember, everybody, PJ's Picks is brought to you by Methylene Blue. If you would like your own bottle of Methylene Blue, go to thealexjonesstore.com/dome. In fact, if you buy anything off of thealexjonesstore.com/dome, you get what you want. And Mr. Rotella gets 10% of that order. How much more in here do we have? Okay. Let's not go too crazy with the Methylene Blue right now. Stream cheers to the cause, everybody, to the cause. Let's find out who died today.
December 15th.
Florida Pat says, I, for one, will still call you Mr. Rotella. Thank you, Florida Pat.
1961. An Israeli court sentences former Nazi official Adolf Eichmann to death for his role in the Holocaust during World War II.
He's got my
He
earphones.
is hanged the following year, denying to the end his responsibility for the Nazis' mass killing of Jews in Europe. 1944.
This song, when I worked at Disneyland on the world-famous Jungle Cruise, I was a world-famous Jungle Cruise skipper when I was 18, everybody. I know, can't you tell? They would play this. This was one of the songs that they would play in the queue, and I would always work night shifts at Disneyland. So, like, at probably around 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, the Jungle Cruise is just dead. So, there was a position where you would load the boat and I would just stare off into the jungle while this was playing in the background. So great memories there.
A single-engine plane carrying bandleader Glenn Miller disappears over the English Channel on its way to Paris. Miller, at the time a major in the U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II, was 40 years old. 1791. The Bill of Rights takes effect after Virginia ratifies the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. 1890. In South Dakota, Sioux Indian Chief Sitting Bull and 11 other tribe members are killed during a fight with Indian police.
He should have been Running Bull.
1966. Walt Disney, founder of an entertainment empire that lasts to this day, dies in Los Angeles at age 65.
How do I tell a Disneyland story and Walt Disney is in PJ's Picks? That's insane.
And in 1939... Atlanta hosts the world premiere of Gone with the Wind, the movie based on Margaret Mitchell's novel. Today in history, December 15th. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
Is that movie in a public domain yet? Gone with the Wind? Probably not. Elite number Brad joining us. Ballyho Brad, nice to see you tonight, my friends. Brad says no sunglasses this evening. We're feeling a little bit under the weather, Brad. So instead of canceling the stream, I said let's just get a little cozy, and here we are. We got some nice hot tea tonight, everybody. Yum yum yum. I really liked my Sitting Bull joke. He should have been named Running Bull. That way he could have got away. That's pretty quick for a sick guy, everybody. All right, here we go. Let's put some rum in it. Thank you, Brad. Let's go to Australia. We're catching their press conference that happened right after the shooting. Follow me.
Go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Want to go in the cat cam? It looks so pretty over there. I love the new angle of the cat cam, by the way. Okay.
Devastating implications for the people of our country. There's been overwhelming public outrage and support from the people of New South Wales, and I think from the people of Australia. There needs to be a time for mourning. We need to be in a position to bind up the wounds of the state. States Jewish community, and many people are asking how they
Or you could just, bring back guns for people.
Can help. The first thing, of course, is to listen to New
Hey,
South
thanks,
Wales
Dustin.
Police
Ballyho, my
and
man.
emergency services. But if you are looking for something practical to do, you could give blood. We saw
Programming note. Tonight we were supposed to watch the TPUSA response to all the stuff that Candace Owens has been saying. Candace Owens and Erica Kirk had a meeting today. I have not heard anywhere how that meeting went. I have not heard if that meeting actually happened. I have not heard anything about the meeting. And since they were having that meeting, Erica Kirk says all live streams and blah, blah, blah are on hold. I don't think that Candace Owens had a live stream today. I know that TPUSA didn't do their whatever the heck they were going to do today. So that's what we were planning to do tonight. Coming Thursday, we will be covering Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the TPUSA event like we've always done since we first started streaming. So America Fest coming. We won't be live during Thursday during the day or Friday during the day, but we will bring you the speakers during our normally scheduled time.
Did
that make sense?
From New South Wales public hospitals last night. Emergency
and we'll be live with it on
at
Saturday
the
and
drop of
Sunday
a hat
morning.
We're in the process of saving scores of lives. They did an incredible job, but they need your help. They need blood. And if you're thinking about doing an act of public service in the coming 24 hours, I'd urge you to contact the Red Cross.
Valley Host Sedan, welcome in.
Of public-mindedness, that piece of public-spiritedness. I want to say thank you to our amazing police force who acted bravely and diligently.
Kara says they should enter the Thunderdome. 2 enter, 1 leaves. I think that's funny. Ely Dummer M. Wiles joining us. The seat is not taken, M. Wiles. I love that new opening line that you have, M. Wiles. That's great.
Incredibly difficult circumstances. Thank you to the paramedics who, in some cases under fire, transported the injured to New South Wales hospitals, to the doctors and nurses in our public hospitals, and lastly, thank you to innocent bystanders.
Finno just says no. What are we saying no to Finno?
Risked their own lives to save other people's lives. This is a terrible, wanton act of destructive violence, but there are still amazing people that
welcome
we have
in
in
Ely
Australia,
Dummer, Don,
and they
Don,
showed
Valley
their true colours last night. I'm going to pass over to the Prime Minister and then New South Wales Police Commissioner.
Well, thanks very much, Premier. What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of anti-Semitism, an act of terrorism on our shores in an iconic Australian location, Bondi Beach, that is associated
I am
with
wearing
joy,
pants.
associated with families gathering, associated with celebrations, and it is forever tarnished
Valley Ho, Ely Dummer,
by
MFT,
what
welcome
has
in.
occurred last evening. This was an attack deliberately targeted at the Jewish community on the first day of Hanukkah, which of course should be a joyous celebration, and the Jewish community are hurting today. Today, all Australians wrap our arms around them and say, we stand with you. We will do whatever is necessary to stamp out anti-Semitism. It is a scourge and we will eradicate it together. The Australian Federal Police and ASIO are working closely.
And they're going to do that by continuing to import migrants of their deepest, darkest enemy for thousands of years.
With New South Wales authorities and the briefing we've just had, we have had the AFP there, and the AFP Commissioner will return to Australia today. We will dedicate every single resource that is required.
Ely Dummer M. Wiles says you're dressed like the Brown University shooting suspect. Just saying, it wasn't me. I live in Florida. M. Wiles.
In responding to this, to the brave responders, first responders, including ordinary citizens who acted yesterday.
Valley Hill Arm, welcome in.
Thank you for what you do.
I think that the ordinary citizens did more than than some of the police officers, didn't they?
People rushing towards danger to show the best of the Australian character. That's who we are, people who stand up for our values. Flags will fly at half-mast across the country today as we pay our respects to all those lost and all those who have been injured. And we conclude by saying that yesterday was indeed a dark day in our nation's history, but we as a nation are stronger than the cowards who did this. I thank world leaders who have reached out.
B3 says 2 Afghan Muslim shooters, damn those Christians. I think that weren't they also said to be father and son also too?
From
how many times can you say
Trump,
also,
President
Mr. Rotella?
Macron, Prime Minister Starmer, others right around the world have reached out.
I mean, that's insane. I've heard of daddy son outings, but a daddy son outing for a mass shooting, I've never heard of that.
To Australia at this time, and we thank you for your sympathy and your solidarity with our values.
That tea is fantastic.
Australia will never submit to division, violence or hatred, and we will come through this together. We refuse to let them divide us as a nation. I'll hand to Commissioner Lanyon now.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Why is it skipping like this? Aria, are you making it skip like this?
And your solidarity with our values. Australia will never submit to division, violence or hatred, and we will come
it must
through
be
this
it must
together.
be
We refuse to let them
It's the video, not the
us
feed.
As a nation. I'll hand to Commissioner Lanyon now.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Last night I announced that I had determined that it was a terrorist activity and made a declaration as such as 9:36 p.m. As a result of that declaration, we commenced Operation ARQUES, A-R-Q-U-E-S, which is a joint counter-terrorism operation. That is New South Wales Police working very closely with our Commonwealth partners to ensure that we thoroughly investigate the circumstances of the incident yesterday.
Sedan says the shooting went on for 10 minutes. I heard 20 minutes because nobody could shoot back. Don't their police don't even have guns? That's fucking insane.
We have progressed at pace overnight with that investigation, and as a result of investigations undertaken...
Do the police in the UK carry guns?
I can
or do you
say
just got
that we are not
little billy
looking
clubs?
for a further offender. We are
or
satisfied
is it umbrellas that they
two
use in the
offenders
UK?
involved in yesterday's incident. One is deceased. The second is in critical but stable condition in hospital at the moment. The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son.
Crazy.
The 50-year-old is deceased. The 24-year-old is currently in hospital at the moment. As part of the investigation, we conducted 2 search warrants last night, one at Bonnie Rig and a second at Campsie. The 50-year-old male is a licensed firearms holder. He has 6 firearms licensed to him. We are satisfied that we have 6 firearms from the scene yesterday, but also as a result of the search warrant at the Campsie address. Ballistics and forensic investigation will determine this morning that those 6 firearms are the 6 that were licensed to that man, but also that they were used in the offence yesterday at Bondi. We will continue to investigate this matter thoroughly. It's important for the community to have the reassurance that New South Wales Police, working with our Commonwealth partners, will not stop until we understand the reasons behind this senseless incident and take any available action that we need to do. We always work closely with our Commonwealth partners to make sure that we keep the community safe. This is a very difficult time for all law enforcement agencies, and I would really like to call out the work of New South Wales Ambulance last night, and we're joined by the Commissioner Morgan this morning. The ambulance officers were absolutely outstanding in their response.
Sedan says, do you think those shooters would have been so bold if they knew people could shoot back? Well, dude, I think, Sedan, that once you get to the level of thinking of, hey, I'm going to go out and shoot a bunch of people in a crowd, you don't really give a shit if you're going to be shot at that point. So, I mean, once you get to that point, it's like, I don't think having like open carry or something like that would deter mass shootings, but it could end them a whole lot quicker. Ballyhoe Elite Domer, Ronnie, welcome in.
16 persons is obviously a great tragedy for this state. Our thoughts, prayers and love go out to all of the families of the deceased.
Ronnie will be live after tonight, my friends. Make sure to hang out with Ronnie.
Recover quickly. I have 2 police officers currently in hospital at the moment. Both are in critical but stable condition. And again, the thoughts of the New South Wales Police are very much with those officers and their families. This morning we commenced Operation Shelter. It is an operation that we have previously run. We have escalated the number of police that are involved. Operation Shelter is designed to provide comfort to the Jewish community. We will make sure that we are highly visible at places of worship, places that are known to be frequented by the Jewish community, but very much in those suburbs
racist.
where we know that we have a large Jewish population. I want to make it very clear that the New South Wales Police will not tolerate the types of violence or the types of anti-Semitic behaviour that we have seen. We will have 328 officers on the ground this morning as part of Operation Shelter. That operation will continue to work very closely with the Jewish community
Welcome in, Comedy Crusher, Ely, Domer, Ballyhoe.
Prevent, but also respond to anything that may happen.
Welcome in, Little Philly.
I was very clear last night to call for calm.
The people's response to what I'm wearing tonight proves that the branding is working.
This is not a time for anyone to be seeking retribution. This is a time for community to grieve and to heal. The New South Wales Police will do what it does best, and that is to prevent but investigate offences that happen. And we will be here to support the community. I might hand over to Commissioner Morgan, I think, if there's anything you'd like to say, sir.
We got about 10 more minutes of this.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Could I just express my condolences to the victims, the families and friends, and certainly those that
you're going to love the hoodie, Cara. It's so
Our
comfy.
best
Look at this
and
thing,
prayers
guys.
are
It is
going out
great.
to you. This was obviously a significant incident that has occurred at Bondi Beach last night. New South Wales Ambulance got its initial call via New South Wales Police at 18:43 last evening. Our first crews were on scene within less than 10 minutes. This took a response of more than 123 personnel from New South Wales Ambulance. Both New South Wales Police and New South Wales Ambulance worked seamlessly, I'm advised, through this entire incident in support of the community. I cannot convey how important that is. We are told stories of amazing heroism, of paramedics and police working seamlessly together with members of the
your own
community.
officers.
Some of our paramedics are from the Jewish community and attended that scene and continued their duties diligently and professionally. Of that initial response, New South Wales Ambulance transported 24 patients, particularly in the first wave. There were attended 14 people who were deceased at the scene. Through the course of the evening, another 2 people succumbed to their conditions at New South Wales hospitals, and a total of 42 people attended New South Wales facilities.
Jesus.
It is not uncommon in these major incidents.
This is from 20 hours ago. Do we have an up-to-date death count?
For members of the community, sometimes often with very serious injuries, to make their own way to hospitals so that they are not burdening the resources, the services. This is what it means to be Australian. I do want to make the point that there is a significant amount of support available from the New South Wales health system. I could commend to the community that there are great resources available on the New South Wales Health website if you need mental health support, and some reference material if you also need that. Just in conclusion, I do want to make the point. There were some amazing lessons learned from the Bondi Westfield Shopping Centre. Last night, I am told, the command structures were seamless, the joint agency approach, the ability for paramedics with the support of police to work in these hot zones, I'm absolutely convinced contributed to the saving of lives that otherwise would have been lost. Finally, just one message for the first responders at these scenes. You are an inspiration to us all. The way you put yourself in harm's way, your courage.
I saw one of the cops hiding, and I saw 2 of the other cops stand there with their arms up.
Can you elaborate? You said yesterday that one of the gunmen was...
Cara with some breaking news! Mr. Rotella here at the Dome Breaking News Desk. Breaking news to you right now, and here's your breaking news. From correspondent Cara, Marjorie Taylor Greene engaged to Brian Glenn. She said yes. OMG. Mr. Rotella, back to you inside the Dome Theater.
Go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
But she said yes. If they live stream that wedding, we're live streaming that wedding. If Taylor Swift live streams her wedding, we're live streaming that wedding.
To police. Was that gunman known to police for extremist views, and
we've never live streamed a wedding
displayed at the attack yesterday?
I prefer not to comment. That
Valley Ho Total Horse Channel, welcome in.
Investigation. We'll be happy to provide further information that it goes along. I want to give our investigators the opportunity to investigate thoroughly without speculation. We did hear last night a lot of information was coming forward. I want to make sure that it's accurate.
Commissioner, there are reports a black ISIS-style flag was draped over the gunman's car. Are police aware of this? Has a flag been recovered?
That's all part of the investigation. As I just said before, I'd rather not comment on that right at the moment. Obviously, we'll look at the motives behind this attack, and I think that's really important as part of the investigation. Our investigation will be thorough, and we will be happy to provide further information.
Beastery with an update on the deaths. 15 killed at this event. Sharon here says 16, including 14 at the scene, 2 later in the hospital, and 1 gunman killed by police.
Sorry, can I just have one? Sorry.
Was there any indication that these shooters were known to any service ahead of time?
Did any of our UK chatters answer me? Do the police in the UK carry guns, or do they have to call in like a special police unit with the guns?
There's no indication to indicate that either of the men involved in yesterday's attack was planning the attack that happened yesterday.
How was the father able to get a gun license?
Any manifesto or notes?
Again, that is part of the investigation. I don't want to go into that this morning. We've got investigators that have been working around the clock. I'm incredibly proud of the work that has been undertaken so far.
Armed police are a unit in the UK.
We want to get to the bottom of this.
Copy.
We want to understand the motives behind it.
What color shirt do they wear?
We understand the actions that have happened. I cannot give a running
That was something
commentary
that blew my
on the
mind watching the Tommy Robinson rally, how many different church police officers had in the UK.
I want to give the investigators time to work through this properly.
We're with the green team.
At this stage, no, I won't comment on that. We'll continue to work through that. That is part of the investigation to understand the motives behind it.
For how long had the 50-year-old had a gun licence? And you said yesterday that the deceased was known to police here. Was the same individual the one that was known to ASIO? Do you understand anything about that?
Oh, I think last night, there was wide speculation that the younger of the 2 men had been deceased. That's not the case.
The
older man was deceased. I'm told that he has had a gun licence for approximately 10 years.
And the younger man, he was the one known to police and to ASIO. Do you have any more information on that?
No, I don't. And I think I said last night it was very limited knowledge.
Can you elaborate on why he was known to police?
No, I can't. Not this morning. That's all part of the investigation.
Can you confirm the identities of the gunmen and whether they were staying at an Airbnb in Campsie?
I can certainly indicate that they were staying at an address at Campsie. Their residential address is in Bonnyrigg. They were staying at an address in Campsie.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has laid some blame on your feet. What is your response to Netanyahu's comments yesterday?
Valley Hope Pant, welcome in. What did Netanyahu say?
This is a moment for national unity. This is a moment for Australians to come together. That's precisely what we will be doing.
Is it a failure that these men weren't seriously on the radar of our authorities?
Look, our authorities do an extraordinary job. An extraordinary job. As Commissioner Lanyon has said, investigations have already
Let's find what
made
Netanyahu
some progress.
said.
The fact that there were raids on the home in Bonnyrigg and at Campsie last night. We will continue to provide every resource possible to the AFP and as well to our intelligence and security agencies.
Police Commissioner, not looking for a third offender, that means not just no third shooter, but no other persons of interest or suspected accessories. How do you know that these 2 were acting alone?
What I'm saying is that we will conduct a thorough investigation. If there is any other person that is associated with the 2 offenders that we believe that was either involved or responsible for what took place, we will take appropriate action. What I'm saying very clearly is that there were 2 persons involved yesterday. There were 2 persons in this atrocity.
I think I saw that clip today.
We are not looking for a third person who was involved in yesterday's incident directly.
Commissioner, you must see this as a failure that this man was able to get a gun licence and that he was not more on the radar of authorities.
I think there's actually legislation that governs how people have a firearms licence. So what I've said so far, and I'm not going to go further into it at this stage, there was very little knowledge of either of these men by the authorities. The person was determined to be entitled to have a firearms licence and had a firearms licence. The person had had a firearms licence for a number of years.
So, wait a minute. You're saying that your gun laws didn't work, and because no one else had a gun, they couldn't stop this from happening for 20 freaking minutes?
For which there were no incidents, and it was
Fucking
regulated.
insane, man. What is wrong with these people?
No, I think it's probably premature.
That's what I'm looking for, Sharon's here. Okay, we just heard the question of the Prime Minister about Benjamin Netanyahu. Let's go see what Benjamin Netanyahu said. Look at this professional streaming, friends.
On August 17th, about 4 months ago, I sent Prime Minister Albanese of Australia a letter in which I gave him warning that the Australian government's policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia. I wrote, "Your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorism. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act. I call upon you to replace weakness with action.
How often are we supposed to talk about anti-Semitism, man?
Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia.
How about, hey, sorry about your loss, thoughts and prayers?
You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country. You took no action. You let the disease spread. And the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today. We saw an action of a brave man, turns out a Muslim brave man, and I salute him, that stopped one of these terrorists from killing innocent Jews. But it requires the action of your government, which you're not taking. And you have to, because history will not forgive hesitation.
This happened like 4 hours ago.
It will honor action and strength. That's what Israel expects of each of your governments in the West and elsewhere.
Excuse me? That's what you expect? Excuse me?
Because the disease spreads and it will consume you as well. But we are worrying right now about our people, our safety, and we do not remain silent. We fight those who try to annihilate us. They're not only trying to annihilate us, they attack us because they attack the West. In Syria, we saw yesterday 2 American soldiers killed and 1 American interpreter killed as well, killed because they represent our common culture. Now, as a result of this, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said the following. He said, "Let it be known that if you target Americans anywhere in the world, you will spend the rest of your brief, anxious life knowing the United States will hunt you, find you, and ruthlessly kill you." We send our condolences to the people of America. And I want to say that our policy is exactly that policy. That's why those who target Israelis, target our soldiers, try to kill them or try to hurt them and wound them, as happened in Gaza yesterday, we take action. They will spend the rest of their brief, anxious lives knowing that Israel will hunt them, find them, and ruthlessly dispose of them. That is American policy. This is Israel's policy. It's our policy in Gaza, in Lebanon, anywhere.
All you can eat. No new wars. You guys figure it out. I'm with you. All you can eat. All right. Well, great. Thanks for that.
Speaking about an investigation, we want to get to the circumstances of everything that occurred yesterday and what led up to it. We are determined to make sure that investigation is thorough.
Ballyho, ex-Canadian socialist.
Knowledge of these individuals, particularly the 24-year-old who you did know about. this was a planned attack. It doesn't appear to have been something that spontaneously happened.
I think that's really part of the investigation. We want to understand.
It was obviously a planned attack.
These two people. There are many people in the community for which the police have very little knowledge about, and quite rightly so. We want to understand.
Howard 2022 invested $5.
Thank you, Howard. Howard says, Trump's tweet about Rob Reiner. Can you get that for me? Sharon's here. No one said the truth would be easy. Ballyho, Mr. Rotella, and fellow domers. Where we go one, we go all. Ballyho Howard, welcome in. Thank you for a $5 dome investment.
Were further
I do want to read that Trump
offences,
tweet.
But we have no history to say that's the case.
Premier, are their families cooperating?
Sorry, can I just...
Are their families cooperating?
We will be speaking to the families. We have spoken to the families.
What was the purpose of the firearms licence?
Sorry, what was
what was the purpose of the firearms licence? What was his reason for having firearms?
I don't have that information this morning. What I've said is that he did hold a firearms licence and did have 6 registered.
If you know that he has a firearms license, wouldn't you know the reason he has one other than, self-defense? But I don't think that that's even a reason in Australia that you can have one. How crazy is that?
Firearms.
Premier, clearly it's early in the investigation, but obviously a terrorist has been able to hold a firearms license. If changes need to be made to our gun laws in New South Wales, will you make changes?
The short answer is yes. We're looking at that right now. Obviously, we're in the early stages of this investigation.
We're going to make sure that no police have guns anywhere.
All the details of this inquiry to the government, but I made it clear last night that we will take every step we possibly can to keep our community safe.
These people like
law reform along that
is
route.
there is the human race in like a lemmings situation where we want to self-destroy ourselves at the moment? What is going on?
This is an intolerable situation. This is an attempt to break apart our social life, to divide Australian against Australian. There's a massive role for the government, New South Wales Police and regular citizens to play here to ensure that we keep our community safe, and I won't hesitate to move legislation if it's required.
How far they need to crack down on anti-Semitism? Premier, do you see this as a failure that this man and his son were not picked up by authorities and able to get a gun licence?
Look, I can't say at this point. I mean, I think it's important that we allow police to conduct their investigation.
Right,
of course, there will be a comprehensive inquiry. This is a massive terrorist event in Australia's largest city, targeted on Jewish Australians. We need...
All you can eat, says Mr. Rotella, is jelly over his hair. How can you read my thoughts? All you can eat.
Get to the bottom
I do
of
love
exactly
that hair.
How this happens, so that we can take steps to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Now, I think in these circumstances, it's important that no stone is left unturned, and New South Wales Police are given time to conduct that investigation. But we have to do everything we possibly can to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Part of that may be law reform. Almost certainly it will be. Part of it will be a comprehensive police response.
No guns for anyone. That's what they're going to do. Watch. No guns for anyone.
Racism and anti-Semitism in our community. We saw a shocking act of public violence yesterday afternoon, but we've seen time after time over the last 2 years in particular, but even before that, of public acts of anti-Semitism in our community. It lights a fire, it's toxic, it gets into the marrow of a community, and the only sensible, fair
I
and
don't
just
think
response
about anti-Semitism
is a
at
community
all.
standing up as one and saying we will not tolerate racism, we will not tolerate
I don't think about
anti-Semitism in
racism
New
at
South
all.
Wales. James.
What are these people talking about?
Included that police, up to 4 police were standing around one...
Howard 2022 invested $5.
Well, thank you, Howard. Howard says Satan reveals himself to the world is what's going on, brother, says Howard. Well, we'll stream it. If Satan returns, we'll be streaming that. That's for sure. That would be great, Doman.
Just standing there. An eyewitness said that it was like they froze.
James, no, sorry, hang on a sec. I'm just going to stop you there. I'm not going to speculate on that right now. What I will say is that there are 2 New South Wales police officers in critical condition in New... I will say, I'm just...
It was like back, just standing there, an eyewitness active.
Someone's asking about the police officers that were just standing there. That's what I saw on my Twitter feed today.
Eyewitness reports last night included that police, up to 4 police were standing around one of the active shooters, not giving fire back, just standing there. An eyewitness said that it was like they froze.
James, no, sorry, hang on a sec. I'm just going to stop you there. I'm not going to speculate on that right now.
These stupid people, they never take accountability for freaking anything.
In critical condition in
I'm
New
going to
South
stop
Wales
you there.
hospitals who stepped into the breach and could have lost their lives last night. I'm not going to go into the circumstances of police officers that returned fire, but I can tell you their bravery, their courage in these circumstances saved countless lives.
Did they know how to shoot their guns?
And I just urge everybody, don't jump to conclusions at this point. It's important that we have a full and comprehensive investigation.
They probably pulled it out and went,
but certainly don't run down the police at this early hour. Sorry, I'm going to end.
Provide us with some more detail on what explosive devices were found at the scene and
there were explosive devices too?
Yes, certainly. There were 2 improvised explosive devices found at the scene. They were taken by our rescue and bomb disposal unit. They were found to be active devices, so they were taken back and rendered safe by our police who do a professional job.
And does that mean they could have been triggered by phones, or can you tell us anything about how they would have been triggered?
I believe that they were more rudimentary in that. I think it would have been, there would have been a wick or something similar that would have been used to actually do that. I think they were fairly basic in terms of their construction.
Last couple of how they were going to be used.
Who gets the green shotty and who gets the blue sniper?
That's why we're investigating so thoroughly. We want to get to the
I always
bottom
get
of
the
this.
sniper.
I've made it really clear that we want to understand every circumstance. I'm very glad that those devices were not activated. But
why
really
were they
our
not?
thoughts and prayers at the moment are with everyone who has lost someone.
If I'm a terrorist, I mean, do I really go here? If I'm a terrorist, I set off the bombs first because that causes massive chaos, and then there would be so many people running around, they would have no idea where I was firing from. Is that why did I even think that?
Something like this could have happened. They have been petrified for more than 12 months now. Has your government failed Jewish Australians when their worst nightmare was realised last night?
My government will continue to stand with Jewish Australians and continue to stand to stamp out anti-Semitism in all of its forms. We have taken strong action. We'll continue to work with the community.
Thanks,
This morning I've already had a discussion with
Mr. Rotella told me to do this.
Envoy, the first one ever appointed in Australia, Gillian Siegel. Last night I spoke with Peter Wertheim and other leaders of the Jewish community. We'll continue to work with them because this is a time where all Australians need to wrap our arms around Jewish Australians. So we stand with them. We stand against anti-Semitism. We will do whatever is necessary to stamp it out. Anti-Semitism is a scourge. It's been around for a long period of time. We need to do whatever we can.
We're probably going to get rid of it tomorrow.
Crackdown like John Howard carried out after Port Arthur. He took leadership on that, will you?
Well, we will look at whatever is necessary, whatever comes out of this investigation. If there is any action required in terms of legislative response, we will certainly have it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
This is going to be ridiculous. Here's what's going to happen. Dome prediction. Dome prediction. Social media laws against anti-Semitism. They're going to start doing the same thing that the UK is. They're going to start putting people in jail for anti-Semitic tweets. They're going to take away all guns. You can't even have a firearm no matter what. That's what's going to happen. And it's going to happen quickly. It'll happen. It'll happen. I bet before February. They will move quickly to make that happen. Oh my goodness gracious, what's going on out there? All right, when we return, we're going to switch up the sadness with the goodness. So when we return, there's a brand new robot that just came out from China. This video came out 2 days ago. We're going to learn about a brand new robot. You know I love robots inside the dome. We'll be right back after this musical break.